Hello, Africa. Welcome to another class of wisdom. During the weekend, I visited one of my local Spars to buy some items, and after picking up the items, I went to join the queue, and it happened that I was the only one in the queue. And within a few seconds, somebody just shoot out of nowhere, went straight to want to pay. But I told him, sorry, sir, there is a queue behind me. He was no difficulty. He quickly said, sorry, I didn't notice there was a queue. He came to the queue and he stood behind me. And as soon as the cashier was done with she was free to help the next customer. She called the guy who had jumped the queue, something that she had noticed. She called the guy who had jumped the queue instead of me. But the guy said, no, it's not my turn, it's this guy's turn. So I then went forward, and when I was there, I engaged with her and I asked the question, why did you call somebody who jumped the queue, knowing very much that he had jumped the queue, instead of calling me? And with an attitude in the front face, she said to me, but you are here, what's the fuss? That was, that was her response. A response that really kills a lot of businesses. I didn't want to argue, I just kept quiet. She kept watching, and I requested a bag with my items, and the bag cost R1.50. And when she was done when she was about to give me change and that's it, she said to me, I said to her, did you punch a bag? She said, no, I didn't punch a bag. Do you want a bag? I said, yes, I want a bag. I told you I want a bag. She said, so my change was 21 rand and 10 cents, and the bag cost R1.50. So she said to me, I have to change 20 rand for me to get the 50 cents to top up to R1 and get a plus bag. I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I said, okay, cool. I just picked up my items and left. As I had walked out of the store, a few steps out of the store, I felt like what I had done was really wrong. Wrong in many ways. It was not just to me as a supporting client. It was not just to her as somebody who was on the job, and that could risk her job. And it was not okay or justice to the business owner who might have invested his or her life savings to make sure that the business exists. So I said, no, let me go back. Went back quickly and requested to see the manager, who happened to be sitting right at the far end of the checkout point. And I said, are you the manager? Can I please talk to you? She said, yes. I said, please, can you talk to your cashier? She gave me an attitude, and I explained my story to her. And as I was explaining, the cashier overheard the conversation. She quickly came to join the conversation. And as soon as I was done explaining myself, she explained this side of the story. And she did it very well with a remorseful voice, which was quite brilliant of her to do that, because the whole idea of me coming back to complain was not to spite on her or to punish her or to victimize her. The whole purpose was to teach her, to impart her some wisdom. So it was a class of wisdom. And she explained it very well without any exaggeration. And I said to her, no, that's cool. And she apologized, said, sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. It happened in the moment, and I'm really sorry if it hurt you. And I said, no, that's exactly what I wanted you to. I wanted you to identify, to know that what you've done is wrong, and correct it so that you won't be chasing away any customer. You are going to secure your job. You are going to secure other people's job, and you are going to sustain the business so that the owner can get a return on their investment. And that was the end of the story. Let's now contextualize it to business dynamics, the reality in any business environment. Annually, the global economy loses $8.9 trillion, $8.9 trillion to bad customer attitude. And that's 9% global annual GDP. That's 9% of the global annual GDP lost just like that because of a bad attitude. A choice just somebody can choose not to do. So you have risked the economic growth of a nation. You have risked other people's jobs. You have risked your own job. You have risked other people's possibility of being employed, because economic growth translates to economic employment, to employment creation, translate to job security, translate to economic development, because of an attitude. So what is very attitude, you might be asking yourself? Very attitude has to do with resistance to change. Remember, time evolves. Evolvement of time translates to change of procedures, change of needs, change of standards. Hence, it becomes necessary for any organization to update and bring in new changes. So your resistance to change, that means it's going to stall the business. It's going to hold back the business development and ultimately its sustainability. It's going to hold back on business ability to keep your employment. It's going to hold back on business ability to hire new employees, because there is no growth. It's going to drop down on sales, which will ultimately lead to the liquidation of a company. Let's talk about the resistance to team spirit. Team spirit is what makes a company. Remember, a system is can be best described as different aspects which are interdependent on each other. These are small different elements that are interdependent on each other to complete a process, or to complete a service, or to complete a product. So you can't play it alone. So your resistance to team spirit is a cost to the company, is a liability. Remember, in one of the videos I mentioned that you are hired because you can provide a solution to an organization. So now, if you become a liability and you're not solving any problem, it becomes unnecessary to keep you. That means your job is at stake. Other people's job is at stake. The business will lose money. The other one is bad communication. Inability to attentively listen to a customer, be able to engage with them and help them solve their problems and get a satisfactory service. The other one is lateness. Coming to work late. It is a cost. Remember, every project, every assignment is paid based on time. So if you are late, who is covering the space and there's not been enough time to make arrangements to replace you? So if you are late, that means you are holding back productivity, you are costing the company, and you're becoming a liability, and you're causing the company to lose on income. Absenteeism is another attitude. One day you just wake up, you don't feel like going to work, you go and buy a sick note. Yes, of course, you might think you're being a legend. But do you know how much it costs? Because remember, each and every individual in an organization has got a prowess and has got a station or a responsibility to execute. So your absence, that means the execution that you are supposed to do is going to be held back. As much as the company might end up putting somebody as a standby or a contingent plan, that does not bring the perfection that it was supposed to be. And that might end up resulting in injuries, people doing things at the end of the fresh. That might end up in rejects, which were going to cost companies, because the rejects are produced by resources that have been procured. And so resources are not being utilized to produce a satisfying product. That means it's a cost to the company. So the ripple effects are epic. Attitude towards saving customers. Yes, we know there are difficult customers out there. Dealing with public has never been easy. That's why in one of the videos I spoke about wisdom, gaining wisdom along the way. Each and every engagement in life, each and every encounter, each and every experience is a class of wisdom. So having been in an organization for a couple of years, or being in a particular field which may be customer service for a couple of years, would have taught you, would have given you enough wisdom to be able to deal with the situation. And maybe you might be asking yourself, how do I deal with a difficult customer? It is easy. First, you need emotional composure. You need to calm down, understand the situation, apologize to the customer, and explain to them things that they might be missing. and be able to thank them at the end of the day if you've solved. If in any case you find it's difficult to solve the problem, what do you do? Wisdom will tell you that you have to ask your colleague, you have to ask your manager to come and intervene and being able to help the customer, because the goal is to solve a problem. The problem is a customer misunderstanding. As difficult as it is, remember your colleague is not in the situation, so emotionally they're still composed compared to you. So let the situation be handled to an extent that you keep the customer and to grow customer loyalty. They are able to come back and support the business and sustain the business and secure the people's jobs and create more employment for other people who are looking for a job, and grow the economy so that the government and the resources will be there for every citizen to enjoy. Looking into South Africa, it is said, research has about 30% of incoming calls from prospective customers go unanswered. So in other words, it translates to the fact that 30% of potential sales are being lost by companies due to, employee negative attitude. And one of the main reasons that was indicated in the research is the fact that people are taking too long to answer their phones. And customers don't have patience, especially in this fast life that we're living. So that customer, if you take long to answer your phone, that means they will go to the next person, to the next supplier. And the next supplier might be able to satisfy their needs beyond doubt. So what happens? The customer becomes loyal to your supplier compared to you've lost income. And especially if you look at it from a perspective of B2B, which is business to business transactions, these are big transactions. Each transaction might be worth millions, if not hundreds of thousands. So imagine losing such a big transaction due to a negative attitude or a bad attitude. That is merely a choice for somebody to make. So if they go, they go with the circle that they influence. Remember, in consumer buyer behavior, we talk of decision-making influencers, customer decision-maker influencers, people who influence the decisions that are made by potential and current customers. So that customer who is satisfied is going to be a voluntary sales rep. That means you have saved the customer from recruiting a sales rep who is going to be going. So they will do it for free and they will do it much better. And remember, we talked about trust in one of the videos. Trust is a currency, not just to anyone, but trust is a currency in every relationship that exists. It is a currency between the employee and the customers. It is a currency between a business and its customers. So these guys, when they go and influence their circles, that means you would have touched hundreds of customers and potential customers, and their endorsement or their recommendation counts better compared to paid commercial, because this is organic influencing. This is organic convincing. People who are influencing not because they've been paid, but because they were happy with the product. So, and their circles, remember, with their circles, they've got an established relationship or trust with their circles. They tend to believe them more. So it is more powerful for you to have them on board as voluntary sales reps, rather than you spending money on advertising. You have saved the company from spending money on adverts. You've saved the company from spending tireless journeys trying to go and convince people. And that will come back to the organization, to you, as bonuses, as salary increments, as business growth. That means more job opportunities are being created for others. That means the economy is going to grow because the company is going to contribute more corporate tax to the government. That means more you guys can complain or can be awarded a bonus without any hesitation, because there is value, there is enough resources, and there is good sales. So the ripple effects of your attitude are quite epic than what you thought. It's a decision to do the right thing when nobody's watching. Just a decision to do the right thing, which is the right attitude at work when nobody's watching. Integrity. And it is said that on chat platforms, which we're talking of WhatsApps, the messengers, and all other digital platforms whereby the company engages with clients over chats, customers expect instant response to queries. Failure to give instant response, they will go to the next supplier. And we are talking of emails, we are talking of WhatsApp, we are talking of messengers and all that. And that delay in the response to these messages will let them take the next available supplier. But also, it just doesn't do that. It dents on the trust between the customer and the company. And also, it drastically reduces the conversion rate, the client conversion rate. What do we mean by conversion rate? Conversion rate, we are talking about the ability to convince somebody who has just been shopping around on the net, to convince them to complete a purchase with you. Remember, people go on the net to search for different suppliers who can supply their needs, who can supply them with the goods to fulfill their needs. So your ability to convince them depends on your promptness to solve or to respond to inquiry that they've made and engage with them to an extent that they feel valued, they feel. So negative attitude is quite a disaster in any organization. It's an epic liability. As much as you think it's a small tweak of the face, a small defensive act that says, maybe I'm defending my rights. Yes, of course, we have got rights. That's why I said, if you have enough wisdom, you'll be able to defend your rights at the same time, managing a delicate situation to an extent that you sustain the business, secure your job, and you secure other people's job who are still needing for a job, who are looking for a job out there. So, economic development, job creation, job security is all in your hands. Your ability, your wisdom to manage a delicate situation and convince it and turn it otherwise. Your ability to build trust between you, the employee, and the client, and also between the client and the company. Your ability to treasure the currents called trust goes a long way in making sure that this world becomes a better place for all. It is important that whenever you are going to work, be in your best attitude, to be able to go there, greet the customers, welcome them, engage with them. If they are difficult, have emotional intelligence, and be composed and be able to manage the situation so that you convince them that here, the essence of our existence is based on making you happy and maintaining the relationship to sustain the business growth. Remember, your inability to do the right thing compromises a lot. I said it compromises other people getting jobs. It erodes your job security. It erodes other people's job security. It reduces employment opportunities for others, and it costs a lifetime savings that has been invested into a business by the business owner. That means you've destroyed an entire ecosystem of an economy just because of an attitude, a choice to choose the wrong attitude. This was today's class of wisdom, and thank you guys for your support wherever you are. Let's keep learning and let's keep adopting wisdom whatever we do. Remember, every engagement, every encounter, every experience, every problem is a class of wisdom. I'm going to do another video that specifically focuses on the right attitude from an employer's perspective, because it is a big topic on its own, and I think it needs to be dealt with independently, and so that we'll be able to create an ecosystem of making employers also understand that they've got a role to play. From me, Charles, I say, see you in the next class of wisdom. Thank you so much for your support again. I truly appreciate. Let's keep on engaging. If there's any additions or facts that you think I might have missed, please feel free to engage, and let's build each other by sharing wisdom. We need it. See you in the next class of wisdom.